Hey guys, how's it hanging? Charlie here, your coach of the São Paulo CYNDAQUILS for the IBL, the Indigo Battle League, coming to you guys with a hype match, our semi-finals match. This time we're up against RecklessBat, coach of the Texas Tyrantrums. And you guys know how I feel about his team, right? I voted for his team as the scariest team in the IBL, and I keep my vote. And the last time we battled Reckless, we were able on a very close game to snag a 1-0 in our favor, so things might be even harder this time around. And looking at his draft, we can immediately scout for pokey problems like the bulk in Suicune, Tangrowth, Latias, and Mantine. Suicune with both its defense and special defense at 115 and 100 HP for its base stats, this Pokemon can be very problematic to deal with, being able to set up Calm Minds, Rest, Sub, and even Roar our own setup mons. And Tangrowth with its Regenerator ability, hella high defenses, and being able to be both a special wall and a physical hitter, allowing it to use HP Fire or Ice, which is pretty common for it and very scary for things like our Metagross, our Honchkrow, or our Salamence that would naturally counter it. And it has access to Leech Seed, Sleep Powder, Knockoff, so its utility go beyond its natural bulk and regenerator. Then Latias is a very problematic special wall with base stats 130 for its special defense and 110 for both its special attack and speed. So it's basically a defogging wall that can outspeed naturally a good chunk of our team and fire some powerful attacks back. It has access to great coverage moves like Thunderbolt, Surf, Ice Beam, Stab, Draco Meteor, Energy Ball, Shadow Ball, and being naturally pretty fast, it can also benefit with recovery in Recover and utility in T-Wave in case something faster switches in. And of course, this thing can set up Calm Minds and combine them with Stored Power, which hits based on our setup boost, so the more Calm Minds, the more Store Power does. And Mantine is an interesting one because it is also a defogger but has a crippling weakness to rock and it's 4 times weak to electric. But aside from that, it could be a good call with the water absorb ability and 140 base special defense. Also, it can set up subs and can dish Toxics and Scalds and even Air Slashes, so in a sense it has more usability than just defog, being able to rack up damage with Toxic, snag burns with Scald, and even flinch with Stab Air Slashes. He also has a Spinner and a Stealth Rock Setter in Sand Slash, which has access also to Knockoff, which is always good. Swords Dance, Stab EQs, Toxic, and has pretty good coverage in X Scissors, Shadow Claw, Poison Jab, Hone Claws, which is kind of a variant from the SD set, and Aerial Ace. And talking about Stealth Rocks, he also has them on Crocodile and Cobalion. So Crook is very scary. Yes, an Ice Beam, U-Turn or Scald or even a Hammer Arm can cripple this thing, but it can be Intimidate to answer that, or a Moxie Scarf to enter on a clean switch and most likely sweep. And it can Stab Knockoff, Stab Pursuit Trap, dish the most powerful of Stab EQs, Superpower and Stone Edge for coverage, and it even can Taunt, so if you try to set up or protect yourself with like Debound Reflex or what have you, and Stab Crunch hurts. And it has a chance to drop the target's defense as well, and that's also a problem because that thing is 100% physical. And don't even get me started on its coverage, because Aerial Ace, Aqua Tail, Outrage, Dragon Claw and Dragon Tail, Fire Fang, Thunder Fang, and even Shadow Claw. So, and then the Cobalion with access to the Volt Turn combo itself. And one stab invested EQ might deal it in, but its 129 base defense might make it difficult, and also with its justified ability, it really puts pressure on us whether to use knockoff for example or not, since this thing could come to eat up a dark type, maybe with a Cobra Berry and gets to +1 attack. And also, did I mention that this gets magnetized? So yeah, that's kinda problematic. Now to his last mons, Drapion, Electivire, Victini, and Megalopony. So Drapion has pretty high defenses, base 110, and can be a reliable toxic spike setter, having access to Whirlwind and Taunt to shoot some Pokemon down and cripple your team with the toxic spikes. It also has good coverage on Aerial Ace, Aqua Tail, Bug Bite, EQ, Fire Fang, and Iron Tail. And aside from that, the defensive variant, it can also be a Swords Dance set. Electivire with its Motor Drive ability is quite problematic and makes us think before freely vote switching around and giving a free +1. It also has a crippling weakness to EQ though, but it has great coverage in Flamethrower. EQ itself, HP Grass is a pretty common one, then Ice Punch, Iron Tail, and this thing also gets magnetized. And then Victini is just scary. 100 base stats overall, can be basically anything you need it to be, like a Mew. There is just no such thing as a safe switch into Victini. And it being able to like Glaciate, V-Create, Bolt Strike, and Energy Ball covers any possible switches almost. I mean, Air Balloon Victini won the GBA this season, dude. Lastly, his Mega Lopunny. 136 base attack and 135 speed, stab, fake out, return, or high jump kick can put in a lot of pressure on a team with no ghost types. And if the Lopunny is already Mega Evolved with this crappy ability, it doesn't even matter if you're a ghost type or not. Power Up Punch, Sub Baton Pass can be a thing, and it also can Chorus. It can Fire Punch, Furry Cutter, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, and Iron Tail, and it can give a great time with coverage for the few Pokemon that can wall this thing. Now that we've run to some of the potential sets and drafts on his team, let's go through our picks for this week. So to start off, we have Constantine, our Gliscor, with the Hyper Cutter ability to break his Intimidates and holding the Yacha Berry to safely switching into an HP Ice or Ice Beam or Ice Punch from whatever and then fire back. And his spread is 248 HP, 60 defense, and 200 special defense with a careful nature. And that is because no attack investment, Gliscor can still one-shot or 2-hit KO everything that he needs to. The chance of echoing Electivire is like 93%, and it's an easy 2-hit KO on an offensive Crook. So this week Gliscor is here to tank hits, hit hard, and be our dedicated defogger. He's packing U-turn, defog, EQ, and knockoff for this week. U-turns for the initiative, but also hits Tangrowth and Latias, and defog because we just prioritize rocks off our field than having to deal with rocks on his side of the field but also on ours. EQ is to hit offensive Crook and Electivire, but also can get some damage on any switch if he doesn't bring Latias or Mantine. And knockoff is here mostly for the utility, like getting off some scary items off his mons, but it can also hit Victini and Latias for super effective damage. And our second pick is going to be Moonlight, our Thunderous Therian, with Vote Absorb of course, and holding the Expert Belt for this week. His spread is 252 special attack, 252 speed, and 4 HP with a naive nature. Pretty standard fast powerhouse set. For this week we're packing no vote switching initiative, and his moves are Thunderbolt, Sludge Wave, Dark Pulse, and HP Ground. Thunderbolt is for Suicune and Mantine, and Sludge Wave is for Tangrowth, and also our go-to move if he has Electivire on the back and switches to that, predicting maybe our Thunderbolt or Volt switch, because Sludge Wave plus HP Ground guarantees the KO on it. And Dark Pulse is here for Latias but also hurts Victini, and HP Ground is of course for the Electivire and the offensive Crook. Our third pick is going to be Cephalothorax, our Vaporeon. That's our standard Cleric wall set with Leftovers and Water Absorb, 252 HP, 252 defense, and 4 special attack with a bold nature. His packing is called as his only offensive move, Roar to get setup mons and subs out of the way, Heal Bell in case anything burns, paras, toxics, freezes, or anything of the sort happens to us. And if Scald isn't exactly our best bet, then we are packing Toxic on Vaporeon for this week so he doesn't go full utility if something that just wants to take an Scald gets in his way. And our next pick is Maintenance, our Metagross with the Clear Body ability holding the Cobor Berry. And that is for switching safely somewhat into a predicted knockoff from Cook, Tangrowth or Drapion and etc. and fire and attack back. And his spread is 252 HP, 200 attack and 56 defense with an adamant nature. And this 56 defense investment here allows us to take a combination of knockoff and EQ with the Cobra Berry from Crook, 200 attack guarantee the KO on an offensive variant of Crook, and this defense investment also allows us to take hits from Mega Lopunny a little bit better. And his moveset for this week is Stealth Rocks, cause it hurts things like Mantine, Electivire, Crook, and Victini. Then Bullet Punch for Prairie Stab, Ice Punch for Latias and Tangrowth, and Hammer Arm for Crook. And next up, our second to last pick is going to be Waffles, our Entei, standard pressure E-Speed banded set with 252 attack, 252 speed, and 4 HP with an adamant nature. And aside from our E-Speed priority, we're also packing Sacred Fire, Flare Blitz, and Stone Edge in case something like Mantine comes in. And last but not least, it's Toothless, our Salamence. He's our Scarfed Moxie late game sweeper for this game, and he's gonna stay in the back too, like Cobalion and bulky things such as Suicune are down and come out to outspeed even Mega Lopunny bearing a Scarf user on his own. And his moves are Outrage, EQ, Dragon Claw, and Shadow Claw. We actually plan on just clicking Outrage, but those other are just coverages in case we can't commit to locking ourselves yet to Outrage. And that's gonna be it for this team prep, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope we can bring up a W for this week because, as you guys know, we're on playoffs, so it's Q or be Q'd, and I mean, we really want to get a chance to rematch Shell Shock or Magic, so we're definitely doing our best. And that being said, I'll see you guys later on Tuesday with the actual match, so see you guys there. Bye!